Okay, when we speak about redemption, I think also like some of the like the biggest obstacles that our youth face now, and it's like the biggest disconnection from the older generation to the younger generation, is that, like you said, it's kind of hard for the older generation to maybe see themselves in the younger, or even the younger to even, you know, fathom that you understand what I'm going through. So you know, just from a like just talking about like the way you redeemed yourself, like what were some of the obstacles that you were faced with, you know, on that road to redemption?
And I think some of the biggest obstacles I was faced with was I wanted to help everybody. And I know coming out there, my Ottawa to first year, a friend of mine, he took and bought me a van. He bought a huge van, man. He bought a big old van. So I would pick up, man, every day, man, I would have 15, 16 kids in the van with me every day. I had a big old green van. I don't know if you remember that or not, but I would drive this green van. I would come from home. I'll stop and get kids every day. And I was amazed at how much kids look forward to going down here to play football. It's 90 degrees, man, and it's 90 degrees in August and July. And we starting a football program. It's our very first year starting a football program. And we don't really have no kids, man. We got about 90 kids total in our whole program that first year. So I'm going down, I'm picking kids up, man. And my model friends are all picking kids up. We all done got involved, because our friend Tyrone started a team where we all done got involved. And the kids were so appreciative. And I got attached. So I got to talking to kids, man. When it came time, man, for my school, I had a couple of kids. I noticed they wasn't going to school. And I got, hey, man, how come you ain't going to school? Well, man, I got to wait, man, until, man, my mama get her check, coach, so she can get me some this. And I'm like, man, y'all ain't got. So that started with every year. We've been doing it for a long time since, man. We always find out which kids ain't got what, and then we'll make sure everybody got school clothes. Because it's not a lot of kids, but some parents, they just having problems, especially with everything going on. A lot of people are out of work and so on and so on. But some kids, man, when they don't want to go to school because they got one shirt. So we made sure everybody had everything they were supposed to have. I normally ride around in the summer, man, with a big old bag of deodorant, soap, t-shirts, right, and just to anything. And the guys that actually coach with me, I actually get money from. Hey man, let me get $25. Let me get $25. Such and such need this, such and such need that. And the guys I coach with, we normally would make sure anybody playing football, they play football up there for us. They ain't went without nothing. And then we got some kids, and they might want to eat after practice. So they know, man, if you want to get something to eat, man, you better get in the car with Coach such and such or Coach such and such, man. He'll stop you by to get something to eat before he take you home. And I wanted to help everybody. I wanted to help everybody because, like I said once before, man, you see yourself. And a lot of times, man, those kids, safe haven is being up there. And, man, on most nights, you know, we'll sit at the field at 9 o'clock. It'd be dark when we leave the field. And then the majority of the kids, especially the ones that stay in the neighborhood, they're going to stay there literally until the last car drive off, then they'll walk home. And that was good, man. And it became like now, man, and like now, 17 years later, it became a ritual that everybody, if you ride down Harper, especially in the summer, you're going to see cars all the way to 10 o'clock because they're going to sit around. The kids going to be out there playing, and the grown-ups, when everybody leave, and that's their safe haven. So that was the biggest thing. And I was able now, thinking back, I think I did pretty good. I didn't have a plan. I ain't had no great plan wrote out. I ain't had no, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I was just doing what I felt was right, and it wound up working.
Right. So, what were some of the career paths or jobs that you decided to like? Was football? You getting back into the football world? Was that something that you immediately knew you were going to do?
No.
Or, what were some of the things that you had on?
And what the first thing I did as I got out of jail was I was doing houses. And the first thing I did, I got in a halfway house, I got a hard money loan. I was just talking to your dad about that. I got a hard money loan. So I got a house. The first house I got, I made about $60,000 off of it. Then from there, I got 2 or 3 other houses. So once the economy slowed down in about 06 or 07 when the housing market crashed, And so I was stuck. I wound up losing a couple of houses, and I kept a couple of houses. So I started.
What year was that?
I think that was like 07 or 08.
Okay.
And when the real estate market bottomed out the first time, when they loaned everybody the money and nobody paid the damn money back.
Right.
So I wind up going on Craigslist, and I went on Craigslist in California, Las Vegas, different places, and I was offering myself out to help you find houses in Detroit. Anybody who's looking for a house in Detroit cheap for $500, $1,000, because it was auctions. I would charge them a fee, and I find them houses. So I wind up during that time when everything was going backwards, I wind up building up me a nice little portfolio of houses. I wind up about 14 or 15 houses, because in the midst of me finding them houses and making money off of them, I wind up with houses also. So I wind up getting the houses, renting them out. Most of them I sold, and most of them I did different stuff with. And I lived off that for about 5 or 6 years. And then from there, I started getting into other stuff. I wind up opening up had a corned beef shop. Remember, I had a deli on Grass Shit. I had a deli. We wind up doing corned beef. I did that for a couple of years. And from there, I just branched out, man. I always had a way, because I can hustle, man. If you throw me in the middle of somewhere, man, I can go anywhere. I feel like I can hustle and live off the fat of the land. So.
Right. It's what my generation we call it the GOAT now.
Yeah.
That's what we call it. So let's take it to like around 2004, 2005. You mentioned Tyrone Sampson before. He's when I started playing for the organization, we were the Jaguars, and he was the original owner. And then you came around. That was 2002 when I started playing. You came around 2004, 2005. The organization became the Titans. How did you not only transition into the organization, but transition to taking over the organization?
I never took over. I never took over the organization. Tyrone always ran it. We just got more involved to help him. Okay. And the thing was, I just came out to help. I came out to help Ray coach. I just came out to help Ray coach. My whole initial thing was, man, I'm gonna help y'all raise some money, man, get some uniforms. But I come out there one day, I'm like, man, and then I'm standing around, I'm like, man, I got hooked after one day. I didn't come to coach. I came out there to help. Let me go down here and mess with them, because they was trying to get kids. Let me go down here and mess with them. I went down there, I'm like, man, I got about 6, 7 kids. So I wind up, I'm like, man, I might as well help. So I wind up and I got hooked, man, from that point on.
Right. So yeah, it was just you basically you were just coming just to kind of be like maybe like a small volunteer. And you got hooked again. You got hooked on your first love again.
And I tell people all the time too, man, and I always say this too. And the kids helped me more than what I helped them, because it gave me a sense of purpose. And I know I had to carry myself a certain way and do certain stuff, because everybody watching. Even when you think they're not watching, they're watching.
Right. So yeah, and actually, I want to ask you. I want you to kind of want to piggyback off of what you just said. Like when you came out there and some of the stuff that you seen missing. Honestly, since you've been around, and since it looked like maybe you took over the organization, it's been like kind of like a more of a total 360 from what I remember when I was playing. Like the culture is different. What is it that was missing that you think you were able to fill that void to change?
And I think that Tyrone and Mustafa and them, man, just needed some help. And then too, man, once you're working with, and that's just like anything, and if you're working with a group of people and it feel like, man, or you working with your brothers, your sisters, and his family, everything seems to function more. It's hard for one person or 1 or 2 people to do what get done out there, man. It take a village to do that stuff that, man, or we actually be doing out there. We actually do more, man. We try to do above and beyond and make sure kids have everything, man. We didn't got money, raise money to buy helmets, raise money to buy this, and we not buying cheap stuff. We not doing this. They're doing the bare minimum. We didn't, every year since we've been out there, we didn't had a set of new uniforms. We didn't had new stuff every year. And so the kids can feel like, man, it don't make a difference where you at. I mean, you in the neighborhood, but I mean, you got just as much as a kid across 8 Mile actually has. So
Right.
It just took a village, just joining in, man, and moving in the same direction. Guys, that's all they needed was a let out.
Right. And you also mentioned that you just have a hustler's mentality. Like you could put you anywhere around anybody, and you're gonna come out victorious. I want you to kind of detail especially to the youth on how you're able to use like your ambitions and your tools as a hustler and a person just being a go-getter. How do you use that in the way that you're able to use it today?
And it's a lot of times, man, people miss the main thing about hustling or doing anything else, and that's treating people right. And if you treat people right, and man, when people can see your intentions and they can feel your spirit ain't bad, and they not feeling a certain way as you come around, that normally opens up doors automatically. And if you feel comfortable around me, man, or you are gonna let me in. And if you doing something and I might see you not doing something right, man, I might try to get in to help you do this and do that, and we might be able to take it to the next level. Everybody has dreams, but most people can't execute. And I know I can execute. If somebody show me some, hey man, let's do this, let's do that, I'm not scared to try nothing. I'm gonna throw 1,000 things at the wall, and I know eventually, man, something is gonna stick. And I've been living by that. And when something fails, all right, let me wipe my butt off and let me try something else, because man, you might have to try 1,000 things just to find the thing that actually works. So, man, that's the big thing, man. Guys, man, like I asked you earlier, man, and about music, man. How's your music going? You might have to try music. You might have to try videos. You might have to try managing, but eventually you're gonna find your niche. If you stick to it and that's what your passion is, you're gonna be passionate about it. Because most people doing anything, they're not even passionate about it, man. They can't even be passionate about even frying an egg, so the egg ain't even come right. So ain't nothing else gonna work.
Right. Okay. So how is it like with you looking back on your life today and just being responsible for so many things, like you're doing things like you're sending kids to college. You're like you just mentioned that every year your organization you guys help out families. Like, what does this player need? What does this player need for them to to be successful? So just looking back on that and knowing that you're responsible for so many lives and so much that's going on in your community. Like how is it like knowing like that you've came this far? Like
and that's a good question, because honestly it just became a lifestyle. So it's not like you really, even it's just became, man, what I normally do. I've been sitting here with you for what about 30-40 minutes. I didn't talk to 3 kids. It's just like my normal everyday, and we talking about school, and it's just my normal everyday thing. And after so long, it just becomes a part of who you are. So and it definitely becomes a part of that. And my everyday thing, man, is try to keep the guys on the right track, check in on them, man, make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. So that extra push is a mug, man. If nobody is encouraging you and whispering stuff in your ear, man, it's hard. And I talk to guys I ain't talked to who played for me 14, 15 years ago, and it'd be funny to me because I always tell kids, man, because they never hear it from black men. Black men never tell young boys that they love them. And whenever I get off the phone talking to any kid, and when I get off the phone talking to you, hey, man, I love you, man, because, man, a lot of times, man, kids need to hear that. Grown men, man, y'all age in your 20s, man, y'all need to hear that, because a lot of times, man, you don't hear it. You don't want to hear it behind bars. You don't want to hear it, man, hear it at a funeral. You want to hear it, man, just because I'm talking to you. So I didn't learn over the years, man, guys want to hear that, man. They happy to hear that. It catches them off guard, especially when you ain't talked to them in a while. Coach, I remember that, man. I love you too, man. Yeah, because guys want to hear it.